I recently moved into a new house with my amazing fiance, and as part of that I had to reallocate my home office setup to a new room. This is a cozy small 8 square meters room, and today I'd like to take you through how I transformed it into the most efficient small office I ever built. The first step was pre-planning. I took detailed measurements of the room, and with the purpose of the room being basically set in stones, I gathered some ideas from Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube, all of which provide inspiration. And I've added all of those ideas into an inspo board. I've used PureRef, which is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, but as alternatives, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, Freeform can work quite nicely. Or for open source freaks, BeRef looks to be a good one too. As long as you have all those ideas gathered nicely into one place so that you can visually see them, you're pretty much good to go. The next step was answering 3 key questions. What will I carry over from the previous setup? How should the room visually look? And what functionality do I want out of this room? And so, over the course of a couple of days, I refined my board and came up with a pretty good plan. And honestly, now when I think about it, it was quite a challenge to do all of this stuff in such a tiny room. Now, I think most people tend to skip this step, but honestly, visualizing your plan is so worth it. There are tons of tools out there to help you do this effectively, and it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think using different ways of visualizing your ideas is probably best, as each approach has its strengths. I'm gonna leave in the description a few different websites and also tools that can help you at this stage. Because fun fact, IKEA has something called design and planning tools, which is a great way to visualize your room if you're already planning on using their furniture. Now, remember when I said that visualizing the plan doesn't need to be complicated? Yeah, so the way that I sketched out the room is probably a bit too overkill. I enjoy using Blender, and so I've used it to make the basic layout of the room and then slowly added in items one by one. And honestly, because I wanted to do so many things in regards to shooting videos, I wanted to think the potential lighting setups that I can do virtually before committing to it. Sure, it takes a bit more effort and a lot of time, but the creative control is so worth it. Also, something that I recently came across is this image to 3D model generation tool from Microsoft, and this is game changing. You upload just one single image as a base, and the result that you get back is actually pretty impressive. And for more detailed objects, although it's still labeled as experimental, if you fitted multiple images, the results get a lot better. Now yeah, I know the fact that the topology isn't perfect, it's actually not good. But for how I'm using these, it seriously speeds up the whole process by a lot. What a time to be alive, honestly. And with that, I pretty much had the layout mapped. After a fresh coat of paint on the walls, we slowly brought in items that I already had one by one. And a few IKEA shops later, it was starting to take shape. At some point, I had in mind to maybe use some of these slat panels, which for the last couple of years they seem to be getting quite popular, but later I scrapped the idea as I reminded myself what I said initially. White walls, dark accents, uncluttered and space efficient. Although I did test it out in Blender to see how it would look, and it looked pretty nice, but I still think the white wall looks better. And now that all the hard work is done, let me take you on a quick tour and show you around, and along the way I'm gonna show you a few details that make this home setup super efficient. Let's start with the main desk because it's the heart of my workspace. This desk behind me is where I do pretty much all my work, and I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out actually. Over here, I do want to highlight a couple of things that make this setup more functional for me. This lets me seamlessly toggle between my PC and MacBook, and the one I have is from Ughh. It has 4 USB 3.0 ports rated at 5 gigabits per second, although I don't like the fact that the power input port is still micro USB, but just for connecting a few peripherals, it's fine. These are being held by a custom 3D print that I did. I did take into account the fact that the A30 Pro gets quite hot, so I left a tiny bit of a gap so that it has a bit more room to dissipate the heat. In case somebody has a similar combo, I'm gonna leave in the description a file so that you can print it out yourself as well. The laptop stand for my MacBook is also 3D printed. I found it on Printables about 2 years ago, and I've only added a bit of rubber below it so that it doesn't move so easily on the desk. For my peripherals, I'm currently using the Razer Viper V3 Pro, and the keyboard that I'm currently testing is the wooden collab with Optimum on their 60HE. And they're both placed on a mat that I designed a couple of years ago. And there's one more thing that I want to highlight over here. One thing that I've been doing on pretty much every setup for the last 5 years or so is just making a small hole through the desk where I feed the USB-C cable of my keyboard. I just think it makes the overall setup just a tiny bit cleaner. When I initially made the room, I knew that I wanted to have a few camera angles where I can just throw the camera and not have to worry about the lighting. And this part of the setup, I'm actually super proud how everything turned out. This thing over here is a Varipole, or sometimes called an autopole, and it's what made this lighting setup so nicely to work with, especially for a room this size. I mounted my key light over here in the left side. In the middle I have my top-down camera angle, and on the right side I have a small light that I use it in a couple of different ways for different accent lighting. Also this, as a set design, I really like how it turned out. It's super minimal, just some accents here and there. Over here, I kept this area pretty clean, not because it only looks good, but also because this is where I charge most of my gadgets. I've actually hidden a bunch of cables, which I can easily drag them like this to charge all of my gadgets. One 120 watts Type-C charger, another Type-C charger, this time specifically for the Amberneck devices. Amberneck, please fix your charging situation and stop being so cheap. Thank you. A micro USB port, one for my old Nintendo DS devices, one for the PS Vita 1000, and another one for the PlayStation Portable. I think I might have an addiction. And I also have this small wardrobe over here where I store a part of my clothes, but I just wanted to show you this drawer over here very quickly. I think it's just satisfying to see it. So yeah. This is how I turned a small underutilized room into a compact but I think highly efficient workspace. It's honestly amazing what careful planning can achieve. If you're considering making a similar change in your workspace, start first of all by understanding your needs, plan thoroughly, and then focus on function as much as form.